All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I'm your host, Goddess Tulsa. If you don't know why you are here, go ahead and take a look at that description, and we will be right back.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Goddess Tulsa After Dark. This is where you let your hair down, get you a beverage, prop your feet up or down. Now it's time to hit the like. Are you subscribed? Don't forget to hit that cash app because it's After Dark with the Goddess.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I'm your host, Goddess Tulsa. We have a special guest with us tonight, and her name is Sonia. And if you guys do not know, we will let Sonia go ahead and give her warm welcome. Sonia, let me know, throw your hand up when you're ready to come on up. All right.
I'm actually gonna just receive. I don't want to. You ask me the questions, and I'm just going to answer them.
Okay. So first of all, just let the people know what your name is.
It's Sonia. And I say Sonia with a J because so many people misspell my name, first of all. And so I put Sonia with a J because my name is actually pronounced Sonia. but I just let it be. I don't be petty. But that's who I am. I'm the person that a lot have been hurt. As many people know, I'm not going to play victim. I'm going to stand on my truth, and anybody can ask me anything at this point.
Okay. So, Sonia, thank you for coming on and thank you for giving us your time. I think one of the questions that I would have for you is, how did you and I come into contact? And we come in contact on Instagram.
Honestly, I don't know. The only way I came into contact with you, truthfully, is when you DM'd me a few days ago and asked me if I would join here on Friday, and you asked me to send you pictures so you could promote a conversation. I took it as someone being genuine with me, to understand my place, and that's how we came into contact.
Absolutely. So we met through social media. Well, we saw each other. I saw you on social media. I saw you on a panel with a panelist that we had on the show before. And so at that point in time, I saw you both women on the panel and y'all were having a conflict and couldn't really come with a resolution. So I said, well, maybe I can step in and bring these two women together.
That's I didn't know that. You didn't give me that. Being honest, when you came in and asked me to talk on Friday, which today is Thursday, you didn't really give me details. You just said we will discuss it. You would make up a flyer to let people know we were going to talk one-on-one. That's where I received it.
Mm-hmm.
To only find out just now, you're really just telling me that was what your intentions were. I had no idea. You didn't. You indicated to me privately, which I'm learning now. Private doesn't mean much, but you indicated to me privately that we would discuss what you wanted to talk about. I've been blindsided now because now you're telling me what the intentions were.
Okay, so let me clarify that. So I did reach out to Core Love and I did an interview with her, and I did reach out to you privately, so I could give you the opportunity to let the people know where you were coming from in that video, because people did see it and I wanted to give you an opportunity to come and give your side of the story.
Well, now you're telling me. I found out today you were really promoting Core Love, Jim, whoever her name is today. I didn't have no idea. I had no idea. You gave me no indication until
Okay, you're having a bad. It's like your phone is popping. Do you have your phone pressed down? Like, is your phone like this on something?
It is sitting up because I'm.
Okay. I'm getting some bad feedback. If it's possible, then maybe you could lift it. Okay, so I think there was a misunderstanding. What I said was I interviewed Core already. I saw you guys having an engagement. And what I did was I saw two women having a conflict. They had no resolution. I had Core come on the show, tell her side, and then I was going to have you come on tomorrow and tell your side. However, you were on the live today and with Core, and I saw you guys going in that same direction. So what it was is I came up there and I was trying to be the voice of reason. And so that's why I guess you are on here today and not on here tomorrow.
But however, even when we were on the live today, I respectfully, intentionally did not mention it because you did not mention it. And when I heard you say, Cora, whatever her name is, I'm going to send you the link, and people DM her or whatever. You wanted Mitch, you wanted Sincere 80s Baby, you wanted her, you wanted myself. So
I wanted us to all come over here because we were all on that live, and how Instagram works is only 4 people that can come up. So yeah, I said, well, let me start a live on my podcast and we can all come up as one. That way it's I can have up to 10 people up here. So I feel like if we had everybody in one room, then questions could be answered and you didn't have to read a message on the screen and then perceive it how you were going to perceive it.
However, honestly, you did not indicate if Core Love or Jim or whoever her name is knew in advance. I was not given that fair shot.
Nobody knew.
You never.
But this is the thing.
Hold on. You never gave me an opportunity to know what you even wanted to discuss. You're actually telling me that's your intentions were based on something that I was brought into on Sunday, and I've gotten messages from Core Love in the last few hours that I refuse to listen to. I don't know why she wants to keep reaching out to me. I'm not. If I am that bad of a person, why would she continue to send me voice messages and text messages? I mean, text messages in the DMs if I'm that horrible of a person. I don't understand why people want to keep reaching out to me and then bring me into and blindside me. I'm not playing victim. I'm not deflecting. I am who I am. I was totally broken when y'all advised me to go masturbate, get a good nut, play with toys. And she said she'll look through my bedroom window and watch me and Charles have sex. Who does that? Who does that? That was offensive. And that was actually humiliating. And I think it's disrespectful for a woman that has core values. That's evil. And then you said you were going to apologize for the things you said, but I'm not accepting an apology because I'm no longer giving apologies. So apologies really are blanket now. Because I'm at this point today, I'm not at the place to give an apology, because any apology I give right now, tomorrow, next week, next month would not be genuine. And when I did make the effort to apologize, which I don't even know why I needed to apologize, because what happened. I can't change the past. We dwell in the past too much. I gave my truth. I told the truth. I was transparent, to only find out that was the wrong thing to do on Instagram. I was totally new to this. I was told, be honest, be transparent, tell your story. This is where we join together. For me to be a person that gives my real name, tell my real truth, tell what happened in the past, to be told I was disparaging the Black man. What happened. I said what I said. It was 15 years ago, and people took it and ran. And told, like I have said multiple times, 17 versions of what I said that changed repetitively. It changed to the point where it was so much of a lie that it was heartbreaking, because that took me back. And I'm going to say it again, because I have said this, I have an expiration date, and my expiration date will be in July. And because this was toxic, this brought back my childhood traumas, and it actually sadly reconfirmed how I felt with the Black people I have encountered. And it reaffirmed how I felt. And I can't say if I can let it go this time. I was so broken today. I had the thoughts I had back then today, and it was triggered by the exact same thought I had in my mind years ago. And I can't continue. People have told me, don't keep injecting yourself into these communities, because they're going to beat you down. They want the reaction. They want to push the triggers, because they know my triggers, because I was honest. So I'm now learning again, keep it to myself, figure it out, and do how I have been doing for many a years. And this is living in the past, and now it's become my present. So I can't predict now my future, because I'm now feeling the same way I felt in the past.
Okay.
Respectfully.
Is it okay if I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. So I listened to you, and I want to apologize for making you feel the way that you felt. I want to say this. We did have a conversation over there, and I was being the voice of reason. And when I heard you say that, you don't really trust people in the Black community, what I was saying was, it was it was me, it was Core up there at the time, and I was like, well, we can be sisterhood, I can invite you to a novel. Are you okay?
Talking to my husband.
Okay.
To be,
I-
because I admit it. Charles and I are not married yet. Go ahead.
Hello, Charles. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I won't complain. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. And Charles can sound off at any given time.
You don't want him to sound off. Honestly, you don't. I've left Charles away from this intentionally, as I have left my family off of it intentionally, because, like I always said, I had a different upbringing. I had traumas. I had triggers. I had sheltered emotions, and Charles does protect me to another level. That if you think I am how I am,
how are you? What do you mean by that? How are you?
The way I will go to the total left, he's at my worst. When it comes to me, he's 100 times worse than me. It is what it is.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
How I react to someone hurting me or triggering me. If I'm triggered, he's triggered, because he's emotionally supporting me. He hates me to be hurt. He hates me to go to the dark place. He knows everything about me because I've always been that honest person. And my honesty um, was treated like Black white supremacy. I am against the Black community. Those
So, so,
things. He's a whole lot worse than me.
so
And
you're against the
sadly,
Black community?
now, I'm not against the Black community as a whole. I'm against um, the Black community that stays in the attack mode because they don't understand my ignorance. Because I was not, and I want to continue to say it, I was not raised underprivileged. I was not raised um, generalizing people of race. I just did. I was not put in that spot, and so going through the years, as I started hearing more things on the television, or especially when we
You have like
wanted
a cracking on your phone.
I'm
Is
sorry,
it?
I'm having a what?
It's like crackling. It's like a little popping noise.
I don't know what to do then.
Okay, I can hear you better. I think it's better when you hold it like how you are now. I don't
Okay.
hear it. Okay.
Well, you go ahead and just ask me questions, and I'm just going to answer it because I can't.
Okay.
I can't explain.
Absolutely.
If people have heard my story 100 million times at this point, and I'm honestly, emotionally, mentally exhausted because I'm a weirdo, bipolar, schizophrenic, attention seeker, and bad actress,
Okay.
as I'm
Let me
told.
ask you this. What was your childhood like growing up? How was that?
I actually I lived in a very, very small country town. I had other things that happened as I became an adult that that traumatized me as a adult. But um, um, as y'all indicate, don't tell all my business. So I'm not going to tell that story why I became totally the way I was, the way I am.
Well, I think
However,
it's important
let
for
me.
people to
You ask me a
understand.
question. I'm gonna
Okay,
get
go ahead.
when I for the most part, because my parents chose me intentionally. My
Now, what do you
grand,
mean by that?
huh?
How did they choose you? What do you mean they chose you?
They chose me by adoption.
So you're adopted.
Yes, I am, and I didn't find out until I was a mother because a Black woman at church chose to break me on Revival Sunday, second Sunday, 1987. That I can tell you. I don't know the exact date on the calendar, but I know it was second Sunday in August, 1987. My heart was broken, and the world I knew was no longer existing. And I had to confront my father um, doing between morning service and afternoon service because I wanted an answer to what someone said, and it took him through evening service to ask me to ride home with him, with my mother, with my son, who was 2 at the time, or almost 2, because he turned 2 in September of 87. And that's the day I can't I can relive it every day because that was the day my life was devastated. Um, to find out over the years afterwards how I came to be, it was hurtful. But I don't want to talk about that today because honestly, I am not in a good place today. Um, I'm tired of trying to feel like I got to defend why I feel the way I do. But the only people that have ever hurt me in my life have been people I encountered. I'm learning to not say it truthfully. I have to say it this way.
Well,
People that I have
say it
encountered
truthfully.
in my life as Black folks are the only ones that have betrayed or intentionally hurt me. And saying that and then going into therapy immediately because of the heartbreak, and I've never removed myself from therapy. And for people to say she's still broken, yes, I may never get over that pain because that pain hurts you from your heart through your throat, and it's a pain you never will let go of because I relive it and I talk about it to my therapist. And my therapist did educate me on this. A person that was abused in any kind of way or suffered any kind of trauma, if they don't let it go, they're going to gravitate when they encounter or interact, they're going to gravitate back to abusive people that are just as broken, if not more, because it's a mental thing. You don't know, you don't realize it's a subconscious thing. And I say that to say, going back to my childhood, we had like I said, we lived in a very, very small town, like a Mayberry. Family, aunts and uncles, neighbors, everybody was a cousin.
Were they Black? Just curious.
Predominantly Black, but we had white people there because it's farmland, it's dairy land, it's
No, I'm
cattle.
saying like your adoptive parents. Are they African? Are they Black?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they are. They
Okay.
are.
So listen, I wanna say I'm sorry that you had to experience that way of life, finding out information um, that pretty much destroys you. I did hear you say, because we did speak earlier about counseling, and I did bring up coping skills and refresh my memory if I'm wrong. You said that you don't use your coping skills because you feel like they won't do anything for you.
I did do my coping skills as long as I am a hermit, because I chose when I came home from COVID, I intentionally didn't want to interact with anyone outside of my family, and it was the most peace I've ever had in my life, sadly. Um, but I wanted to explore and connect, especially after I started, being home. I can multitask. I have a home office. I have a TV. I work and I watch TV, and the news gets in your head. You hear so much of what's going on in the Black community. And I said, I'm going to connect. That was the worst decision I ever made. Honestly, it was the worst decision I ever made. I should have stayed over there on Facebook, not talking to people, just looking, clicking, and moving on. When I chose to come to Instagram, and I intentionally didn't bring my family with me. Someone said my daughter was in this room. My children do not use Instagram. So the lies were continuous, and I couldn't protect the lies, knowing they were lies. It was even said today, somebody was my daughter. I'm getting like, my daughter doesn't interact. My son doesn't interact with social media. They are over there on Facebook, as my dad is, as my entire family is.
Can
I
I
I
do this?
intentionally chose to come into Instagram and it, as they call trolling. I just chose people, not knowing who I'm choosing. I just chose people and just kept going. I went from live to live, trying to connect. But I thought people were, I kept hearing, let's build up the Black community. Let's work together. Let's conversate. So being honest and and going on topics that were with the topics, being transparent and honest was a detriment. And I couldn't explain everything in its entirety. And then people say, oh, she's trying to correct what she said. I'm not. I said what I said. It was said 15 years ago, more than 15 now, because damn, my daughter will be 31 in March. My son will be 37 in September. But and my son, honestly, never wanted to date outside of his race. And nor did I encourage it, because I knew myself. And my statement to my son has always been, never treat a lady like, never treat a lady like you wouldn't want me treated. And he honored that. I said, don't go out here making baby mamas. Don't go out here just all that. Be a man. And he did. And he honored that at 36. So I'm sorry if I couldn't understand the stereotypical profile. It didn't happen. I had to have conversations with my 80-year-old father, who adores every ounce of me. If he knew I was going through this, the humble, gentle giant he is, that will take him on another path. Because he has always tried to protect my emotions. His parents, my grandma and grandpa, they gave me the best childhood. My grandparents adored every ounce of me. They lived down the road, as you call it in the country.
Let me ask you
I
this.
slaughtered hogs with them. I picked up white rocks in the grave, on the pavement. I fed the hogs, fed the chickens, went to the coal house, put the walnut shells in the driveway. I picked up aluminum cans with my grandfather. My grandfather, before he died in 1983, which was in August also of 1983, the worst date of my entire life, because that man adored me too. And my grandmother was just this humble lady that was truly the lady of the home. She taught me morals. My dad was the oldest, and she had 4 daughters, and they all were just the the so much ladies. They were ladies. They wore their dresses. They were we never had family fights. There was always dinner table talks. I heard the same story for years. And it was always amusing. So don't be mad at me for not having a dysfunctional life. However, my mother, who my dad has been married to almost 58 years, she didn't care for me because she couldn't have children of her own because she had cancer in her 20s that required her to have a hysterectomy. So children were not. My dad chose to adopt. She went along with it, but she didn't view me in the light of a mother. She did not. And she abused me emotionally, physically. She was horrible to me. She
I'm
broke
sorry.
all my confidence.
I'm sorry
However,
for that.
however, at 17, when I did get pregnant with my son and had to change the path of my direction for the future because I had to be responsible and accountable for what I did, she threatened to hit me in my stomach at 8 months and told me she'll make me lose that baby. However, my response was, if you do, you got to remember I'm going to be all you got. And when you get old, I'll put you in a raggedy nursing home. She has never, ever came at me that way. To the point now, she loves me. She communicates with me better. She's never said she's loved me. Never. But she comes to me now in a different way to show her love. And I accept it because she's my mother and she's 81. And I'm not going to be that person to abuse her at her age now. That's wrong. So we don't hug like my dad hugs me. He hugs me embraces me tightly. He's 6'4". I'm 5'2". He adores me. My mother adores me. However, our hugs are limp. But I'm not mad at her. I got past that part. But that is another situation where I felt betrayed by a Black woman. Just like I got betrayed with my hurt that second Sunday in August of 1987 by a Black woman intentionally. So
Ask you
those
this.
are my triggers.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So, being understanding just by talking to you and hearing your story, um,
The story's worse, but go ahead.
your trauma, I don't want to like make you feel away. So, your life story that you're sharing with us, I feel I'm compassionate for you. I want to say I apologize that those things happen to you, and I can have a better understanding of why getting along with a Black woman is a problem for you, because it's like if my mom discarded me, like, and didn't love me and things like, so I understand. I have compassion for you.
There's no need, honestly. I don't need the compassion at this point. And the reason why, because just like people say my apologies weren't genuine, I don't feel compassion is genuine. That's why I have, like I said earlier today, you gave 3 narratives of how I feel. And I immediately told you, your third narrative is me. And what was that? Distrust. So
No,
me
actually,
trusting
what
again
you're
will
talking
never
about,
happen.
no,
I
what
will
you're
never
talking
let that
about,
go down.
yeah,
I will never.
what you're talking about is when we were talking earlier, I said there's 3 things in the Black community that really keeps us apart, and I said is the first one was fear, the second one was envy, and the third one was distrust.
And what did I say?
You said that was I can relate to distrust. But being that you said that you could relate to it, I didn't know how you could relate to it until you just said that,
I don't have the first
experiences.
two issues and with the Black community. My only issue is number 3. And And after today, because no one will ever allow me to, I have spoken on the distrust and the reason why I felt.
Can you speak on it now?
What's that?
Just
I
elaborate.
kind of told you. I don't trust because all all my hurt from Black women and Black men are those that those are that race that I have encountered. So when I said it, the first time I spoke on um, what people, I felt like honestly, they felt that way because they don't want Black men. I love them. I've only, me personally, have only interacted with Black men. But when I can't trust, I made bad choices because abusive. I my psychiatrist says you either become an abusive person to the extreme to repeat the cycle, or you become extremely passive to the point where you don't even discipline. And and but subconsciously you still gravitate subconsciously to abusive people. And that's what my entire life until 7+ years ago was. Um, I, as a lot of people know, I met Charles 30+ years ago because we're from this connecting counties back in the day. I knew
Like
him.
to hear your love story?
Yeah, it's my love story.
Come on, tell
And
us about it.
he, we met as teens. Charles is actually younger than me, so he's not a sugar daddy. He's a
Oh,
year younger than me. So the sugar daddy thing, I just bust y'all bubble. Charles is a year younger than me,
how you doing?
y'all. But Charles came from good old wholesome country people too,
Uh-huh.
Connecticut County. But we in the country, um, you know how back in the 80s, this is back in the 80s. He was a good guy.
Hmm.
He had he always had a career. I thought he was square. So I wasn't looking for no good man like that. I wanted a bad boy, which was my true mistake. And so Charles thought he was that, and I thought I was that, and he had the baddest car in the two counties, though, y'all. Everybody wanted to be in his car
Uh-huh.
because he had the baddest car in the county, and he always was dressed to the T because he was more privileged than I am.
Okay.
And he also is an only child. Um, so he's more self-absorbed than I am. But I won't feel in that squareness, good boy, clean cut, pants pulled up to his waist, shirt tucked in, wearing a belt. I won't feel in it. With the
Yeah.
kid and play, hair, high top.
Yeah.
I won't feel in that. I like the car, but I won't feel in that. I ain't gonna lie. So I had to go on to the bad boys, which was a horrible mistake. So we both, you know, grew up, went on, blah yada yada. We both got married. Both of us
Mhm.
traveled always in the same circle, but never really communicating. We have a lot of the same people both of us know. So Charles and I both had 2 failed marriages, both of us.
Oh, wow.
He gravitated to Black women.
Mhm.
He too has been married to Black women that were educated cons. You ever heard of that?
No, elaborate on that for me.
Educated cons were women that had degrees, made good money as well, 6-figured ladies.
Mhm.
But his parents are 7-figure parents. So they married him for the lifestyle, to only try to take him for his money. And his first wife, he had a prenup. However, because she was an educated con, drew up
Mhm.
another prenup to modify it. And the day after he signed it, she left expecting 20% of his salary and an undisclosed amount of money because he didn't read it. He signed it and moved out of state. Let's just say that.
Mm.
However, what she messed up on with her educatedness, she put in there she was never to seek employment outside of the state. And it was found that she had already got a place and another position outside of the state. So she ended up with nothing. Because at the end of the day, she couldn't afford the fight, and she violated the prenup. The second one he wanted to be married to gain citizenship from Jamaica, which was under fraudulent pretenses. So that was annulled. So he and I he had his educated cons where I had street cons.
Mhm.
And my first husband wasn't physically abusive. He was emotionally abusive. He was the man that, because my parent gifted me land. My grandmother, because my grandfather had died, gifted me land to build my first house. So at 24, I had a home, a brand new home built. And for me to get married, for a man to decide he wanted to play video games all day and never stay consistent in his work habits. Unfortunately, he passed away, but not while during the marriage, because I made a expiration date. I gave him a warning. I said, in 1 year, I will leave you. So that's how I came to Richmond. And I found another con that came at me looking differently, I thought. To stay in that relationship 11 years, to only marry him because I felt it was the right thing to do. So he was physically, emotionally, verbally abusive. That man he broke me down so bad. I had no self-esteem. I hated every ounce of me. I attempted suicide during that time. I would take pills just enough to take me to the edge of death and then say, I'm not going to do this because I have 2 children. So it was to the point where, and I'm going through therapy, but then I became bulimic, um, because I had body images that I wanted to be perfect, and it was never enough. So that was an expiration date. Eventually, I put on that marriage. It took me a long time to get divorced because at this point, he I had inherited some money from one of my aunties that passed away that had no children. Being the eldest niece. I didn't find out I was gifted that until she passed away. However, he knew what I inherited, and he felt that's what he he deserved it. And he never worked a true job. He lied so much. He was the epitome of a con artist. So I wouldn't leave him for several years because he had so much trauma himself. He had lost family members back to back to back, and accidents that were um, um, unexpected. And and I felt like I can't leave him while he's going through this. So I wouldn't leave, and myself and my family would help. We helped bury them. Um, they were from Mississippi with no insurance, and I this is the God honest truth. His mother died with no insurance, no money, but because there were several deaths in his family, they owed the funeral home down there so much money.
Mm.
My family came together to help. My parents were driving from Virginia to Mississippi, and he didn't have the money to bury his mother. So while my parents are coming, I'm like, I don't know how much I can do, much more I can do, and they postponed his mother's funeral. They postponed it because they wanted their money. So now I am trying to figure out how to get to honor his mother, me. So my dad and mom got there because I was calling them. They came the back roads of Tennessee through the mountains, opposed to going 95 to 20.
Mhm.
They went the back roads because we were close. My parents are closer to the western side of Virginia, not in West Virginia, but the western side. So they came through the mountains of Tennessee things. So anyway, when my parents got there, I said, the funeral's not tomorrow. We got to come up with XXYZ dollars and get her buried. So yes, people in the community did come together and donate to bury her. And my parents and my aunties came up with the bulk of it to pay it off. And we did. And to only be unappreciated for being a good woman, to be continuously abused. So I said, enough is enough. And I put an expiration date on that as well.
Congratulations to you. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but um, you know, I think we've all been there as women, been in a relationship, maybe have taken a little too much or stayed a little longer than what we say that what we would have done. And this is another thing. the statement, it could never be me. We got to be careful on saying that phrase because you really don't know what you would do in a situation until you're planted into it. And
Hmm.
so I want to say, I love you. I'm glad you didn't unalive yourself a long time ago because you still have a purpose. And I want to apologize again on the way that our interaction was. I'm about sisterhood. I'm I love women. I love people, but I want us as women to get along. And I understand some backgrounds because I've been in foster care, I've been in the system, and I am in a biracial marriage. Um, and I want to build with my sisters in my communities. So I want to vow and give you my word tonight and going forward. I want to support you. I stand with you, and I want to encourage you. And I want us to have a wonderful a sisterhood.
Well,
And
I got a breaking story, if I can interrupt.
oh, this is your show. Go ahead.
I got a breaking story. This is why I'm probably even more emotional. When I did decide to leave, because I Charles and I did reconnect while I was separated as friends. He was my best friend. I could tell him anything with no judgment, and it's still that way. So that's why it's so emotional between him and I. We are very connected emotionally, and we love one another mentally first,
Mhm.
and we will protect one another to the end of time. I would
You feel
never
safe
betray
with
him.
him. You feel safe with him. When you said it, when you say his name, you light up like this ring light. I'm
He,
and you know what? And I can say I feel that because I felt in life that I wasn't protected. And once I married my husband, he found me. It's like I was able to actually get a good night's rest, if you know what that means. Do you see where I'm?
I do.
Yeah. It's like you can actually sleep in your house without all this anxiety and worry and, you know, not feeling protected. So for him, for you guys to come together and join that union is such a beautiful thing. And I'm glad God sent you um,
I
your
got a
king.
second chance with him.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing. He got a second chance with me. And I feel sometimes we made wasted so many years apart, but then we say it may not have been the same way had we connected then. We can't say because that's the past, and we're living in our now and praying to build better as
Better
for our
days. Yeah.
future.
Uh-huh.
But the breaking news, why I may be extremely emotional, which no one in Instagram knows, and I'm going to say it today. That husband from Mississippi, and this is y'all can YouTube it. Um, in 2020, well, while we were separated, his threats was always, "I will come to your job, and a woman will walk up to you and shoot you in your head, and you will never see it coming, and you will never know who she is." And I feared that for so many years. Charles said, "When you come here, that will never be your worry." He has his house locked down like Fort Knox. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Even though we've been together for years, but especially since I've been home. Well, last week, the story my ex husband threatened me with, actually happened in Vicksburg in 2020. He didn't do it, but his now girlfriend, her sister, killed her baby's father in the parking lot, dead. And she was sentenced to, it's called crime of passion, manslaughter, or something to that degree.
Wow.
And it was the exact scenario that he threatened me with. Well, when I found out about it by way of, I watched the closing testimony on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's easy to see. And then I listened to the verdict, heat of passion or something like that. And listening to the closing argument, it was everything he threatened me with. And he was the first witness for the defense. His girlfriend was the second witness. Her mother was the third witness. And 4 of the defense witnesses were people he said he was going to bring to Virginia to testify against me in our divorce hearing. And to see that actually played out live in the courtroom, to hear it, to hear the lies and excuses and the defense they attempted, which was a domestic abuse and she fleeing from the scene because she was with his sister, who
She was an accomplice.
She was holding her brother, physically fighting with her brother, and she turned her brother to the woman and shot him in the heart, and he died, or shot him somewhere in the chest, and it hit the aorta or something to make him bleed quickly and die rapidly. He did attempt to get to his car, however, he died trying to get in, so he dropped dead midway between getting in the car, and he just dropped dead, like with the driver door open. And those witnesses were the same people that was on the witness list for my divorce. Played out the exact same way. So in the closing argument, and I'm not bashing anybody because this is news on YouTube, a week ago in Vicksburg, Mississippi, it's easy to find. Their argument was, play like, after they fled the scene, play like y'all were in a fight, ruffle your hair up. And all the defense witnesses were found to not be truthful. So I don't know how much time she got. I let it go, but it created another trigger and anxiety. So this has been within the last week. So I am emotional on another level for different reasons, to still go into the continuing to inject myself in other traumas and triggers or emotions. I kept putting myself in those situations to react, and I allowed it. So I hadn't cried about it. I didn't own up to it. I indicated today, at some point, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack because my anxiety came back. My anxiety has been back since I heard the story.
Mhm.
And keep being name called. The names that I hear people call me are similar words. That same woman that was found guilty once called me and told me to go play in traffic. And those things are hurtful. I could never figure out why me? And people say don't play victim, so I try to be strong. But I also try to be a good person. But I couldn't have been so bad because I raised two children that are full adults with no outside children, happy, stable, don't hurt anyone. But because in my darkest, deepest moment, I did say to her, never bring home a black man. Don't marry a black man. Because that distrust was on that level when she was 15. I know when I said it, but I didn't drill it in her head. But Instagram made me go back and revisit it with her. Instagram made me bring my son-in-law on another person's live, almost trying to prove it wasn't so much being racist. He's a good man. He's a man. He takes care of her. She's 30 years old, 10 years married, two beautiful children that I'm trying my best to give them a side of their blackness that I can't always explain. But then they need to be explained their other side because it is what it is. There are a lot of biracial children, but I almost felt like Instagram wanted me to say, go over there and get your daughter out of that biracial white man grip. Break up this home and be broken and mess these kids up for another generation. That's how I received it, and that's how I felt. So I couldn't understand the thought process. So I asked her, I said, did you marry your husband because of what I said? She said, no. I married who I married because I love him. I said, people making me feel like I created it. She said, if you want me to be honest, I didn't want to marry. She dated black men. However, she didn't want to, her mental point in her head, to be truthful, she feared going down the same road I was.
And
So
what was that?
not getting a good, stable man of color. It's not, she feared it too, but she did date black men. And to see the black men she dated then to now, they have not accomplished a thing. The one she was most involved with at 30 is still living at home with his parents with no stable job. She says selling weed and working a part-time job and don't know what his next move is. So I asked myself, should my daughter have had that lifestyle? She's successful. She's very successful. Her husband's successful. They're homeowners. They have two beautiful, wonderful daughters. She's happy. So why should I take that away from her because he's white? I don't get it. If she had brought me home, if she had came home with a man stable of any color or race, would I have accepted him? Absolutely. If she's happy, I'm happy. Same with my son. He 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 never entertained dating outside of his race. He made that known. He had he's in the he stated women of another race, they're too fluffy. I didn't never understand that statement.
Mhm.
But
So what's his preference? Is his preference black women?
yes.
Okay.
And he used to always say, because he made a conscious decision, because I said, you don't need children before you're 30.
Mhm.
Mentally, I don't think you would be ready.
Because
And
God, they develop later.
they
you know?
develop later. So he received that. And he won't he dated the kind of chicks, but he wouldn't. He kept them in the streets, and he was honest about it.
Now, what are those?
those
What kind of chicks were those?
the shake your booty, more having children at young ages, living in projects, but always sexually attracted. He's a handsome man. He's very good looking. People used to always say, "Your
I
son
can imagine.
eye candy." He said they used to call him eye candy. I said, "Y'all better leave my baby alone."
Well, no,
But
let me give you some praise right quick because I mean, for you to say that you have a daughter that's 31, baby, you don't look like you're over 31. I mean, let's just
I'm
be
53 and I own it.
Yeah, you look
I'm
very
not gonna
beautiful.
hide it. Thank you.
Yes.
However, so my son said the woman he wanted to have a child with was someone exactly like me. And that's a compliment. And he found that lady. She is a homemaker. I'm sitting here, my cat is on my ironing board. I'm sitting here old school style in my morning room with the cat sitting on what I'm ironing.
Yeah.
And my starch pan right there. I was ironing because I iron.
Yes. And you got the starch.
And I got the starch.
You know what? I didn't think that people
I'm old school. I got the starch. So because I'm ironing my clothes for my vacation.
Oh, okay. For your vacation, right?
My first vacation ever with anyone. And people battered that because I'm going on my best friend from elementary school. It's a destination couples trip, and it's a total of 30 of us. And we're going for 7 days, all inclusive. Mm-hmm. I finally got my passport. I had no intentions of ever leaving the country. Charles got his passport because he too never intended to leave the country. We did this because we love them. I don't know everybody that's going.
Okay.
To be honest.
Yeah, it don't matter who's going. But my thing is, when you go, don't try not to like get on social media. Try to like soak
Oh
up
no, I am. I am
memories.
because it's going near my expiration date. I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna if I can, because I don't know how cell phone stuff work out the country. I don't want no roaming charge. I'm
I
frugal.
mean, take plenty of pictures, but come
Don't
back and
go
tell us
live.
all about it.
Don't go live. I don't
Don't
do
go live.
I
So,
not can I tell y'all something? I'm going to the Dominican and I'm not putting on their bathing suit.
all right. Why not? So,
I got my thin layered clothes. I am I always call myself sexy conservative
uh-huh. Yeah.
because I love heels. I mostly wear dresses.
Hmm.
Um I don't wear bathing suits. And I have a body to wear bathing suits, but I don't. That's just me. Um People are not going to make me be a person that I'm not. My grandmother always told me, carry yourself as a lady. She said it, don't show too much, but show enough. And I've always embraced that. And my grandmother wore pants two times a year. That was when they were harvesting in the garden and when they were killing hogs on hog killing day. That's the only and she didn't even own the pants. They were my granddaddy's Dickies. So
Old school. But the traditional and I'm with tradition, but I'm with untraditional in certain aspects of life as well. Um, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I wanted you to just come here and us have a conversation. So, like, being that we started the interview an hour ago, how do you feel about me now that we've engaged? We're learning a little bit about each other. We're being vulnerable. And I'm saying that not only saying, but I'm giving you my word that I will show up for you. I'm here. My goal and my motto is to uplift. I'm all about women empowerment. My goal is I go into situations that have conflicts and I provide a resolution. And so you may not like me in the beginning, but you'll love me in the end.
that's building trust,
That
and
is
I
right.
told you I'm not there yet. I can't lie. I
Yeah.
don't engage in telling tales to people.
Mhm.
Everything I've ever said is truthful. Um, I will get there. I hope. I hope to get there to trust um, people I don't know because
Right.
I want some other young lady to understand you can have the best life being a good humble soul with and you don't have to do all the extra. You can go natural. You can you don't have to show it all. You don't have to do the things. I see so many young ladies, in my opinion, devaluing themselves because sex sells.
Mhm.
Sex doesn't always sell. It doesn't have to be. You can be um, a man will love you, believe it or not, being just a lady, and we don't give ourselves enough respect sometimes, but we demand respect. And that's kind of like being controversial because you want a good man, you want to have all these luxuries, you want a man to um, be how they want them to be, but then we feel entitled. I cook, I clean, I do have luxuries that some people may not have, but I'm at a certain age and I'm an empty nester. I can have the outside luxuries. And we're at an age in our lives, we have careers, but even with careers, I have my role in the home, and it's not being um, a servant to him, it's being his partner because I am a lady and he is a man, and I give him all of that respect. And I do just as I mimic from my grandmother. I mimic her to the T. And I've never not thought of her since she passed away in any day. And I have never not thought of my grandfather, even though he died in 1983. I've never lost a day. My dad has lost 3 of his sisters. He has more, his youngest sister is alive, and my dad is alive. Those people in my life have left me, and that hurts still every day. And my biggest fear, or how will I survive in my head if I lose my parents because they're 80 and 81, will I survive? Because I'm not that strong in my opinion, but I'm trying to, and I'm a good daughter, and I respect them so much. No matter how my mom may have treated me, I have always been respectful. I never backtalk. I wasn't that one. I was never sassy, even as a teenager. I did things I may not have should have done. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
But
and that's just
I was
that's
always
growing.
respectful. You know,
Uh-huh.
everybody have a little sneaky in them for
Yeah.
something, but I
Uh-huh.
never was disrespectful. I never backtalked. I was not that girl. So thank you for having me. I hope people understand it wasn't intentionally to be betrayal, but
Right.
I spoke on. It came from Kamala Harris and our Supreme Court Justice Jackson.
Mhm.
I'll claim her as my cousin because she a Jackson too.
Oh,
But
Jackson Brown. Yeah, she was a
I'm gonna
Jackson before
claim
she was
her
a
as my
Brown.
cousin. But we cousin, Ladybug. You don't know yet. But
Right.
anyway, but
But listen,
it
let me
came
ask you this.
because those 2 ladies were married to non-black men, and that
Hmm.
was the discussion. I gave my story by way of through my daughter, and I got so much criticism. And one lady that beats me down the most, she said to me when I apologized to her one time, that's why I said no more apologies. She said, Kamala Harris, and God is my witness on everything I love. She said Kamala Harris and Supreme Court Justice Jackson were 2 black misguided women. She said it, I didn't. And it has never been the same since because she clearly stated. And that person, if she's watching, she knows she said it. So that's why she's always um, overly abusive in her texting. And when she comes up, she perceives herself to be totally different. But she indicated to me they were 2 black misguided women. That's what those were her words. And then she's the same one constantly shares lives for me to share, but then will not appear after she shares it because she don't want nobody to know she shared it with me. So when she shared it with me, I shared it out to a whole bunch of people. So, but I'm wrong and a weirdo. So I get it. I understand. This is the distrust that I have because I was genuine. I did apologize. So I did take back. And I will never, and I said this Sunday, I said it today. I would never apologize for my truth anymore because and anytime I apologize going forward will take a lot of effort. There's just as the trust is going to take a lot of effort.
Okay. And listen, before we take off and end the show, there were some comments during the show, but I didn't read them because I wanted to give you, as our guest, I want to give you my undivided attention, and so I didn't read them. So if you don't mind, I'll read the comments and you could respond if you would like. Let's see. So Jessica Catnaya says hello. Jessica says hello. Sonia Maybe it says hello. And Catnaya says, Sonia, the subject can always be something else. You are being received here in peace. So you acknowledge that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. And so Ebony M says hello. And Catnaya says, I didn't see the IG show, but how terrible if you were hurt, Sonia. Yeah, we definitely don't want to disregard your feelings. So showing compassion and sympathy. Everyone hit the like button. Jessica says, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm ready to listen. Okay. So listen, guys, if you have watched the live, if you have any input, we do have a link in the chat if you want to come up and discuss or just give a contribution or great words of encouragement to our guest, Sonia. Catnaya says, Sonia, whatever happened, I'm sending you love and healing. She says, Sonia, whatever happened, I'm sending you love and healing hugs.
Thank you. Thank you to anyone that received it because I would never wish the pain on anyone that I have had through the years. It's hard to let go of hurt. And sometimes we keep putting ourselves in that space. But I do love, and I want to trust, and I want to be, I've stated frequently, I want to be a better person, but I can't because I feel always like I got to defend my feelings or my upbringing. And that's not fair because if you all ask me to tell the truth or speak the truth, allow it or tell me or say, not be honest and tell the truth. I don't, that confuses me, but I do love, I love genuinely. I love hard, but trust is a big thing for me. And I want any woman, if they feel or felt any way I have felt, recognize it. I've been blessed to recognize it, but I haven't healed from it. Will I ever heal? I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I may not. I may not. I can't say because the hurt was, the hurt feels like it was yesterday. And
Right.
it will never go away. And at this point, in my opinion, I could get over it. I thought talking about it would help other than talking to your therapist, because most of the time they give you tools to deal with it, and they always ask, why do you feel that way? What did you feel that day? That ain't helping me, because because you know what?
I
You're
done
not
had so
really
many
offering
feelings
me.
in
You're
that
not
day.
really offering me anything. You just want me to talk, but you really don't give me. And the doctor I have there, I have really revisited several therapists, and same old, same old. Here's some medication for your anxiety and insomnia. Here's for your depression. I you can't just go off of them because you know that's
A
unhealthy
chemical imbalance.
yeah, it would throw you off worse.
Hmm.
So I I can't do the natural. I don't smoke weed, y'all. So I can't. I'm allergic. I stood by that too. Um,
Listen, what about edibles? Like, what about
I don't
edibles?
do none of that, and I'm not being a goody two shoe. It's just not me. Um,
No. Okay, so listen, the edibles, because I have a lot of, I'm here in Oklahoma, and so we have dispensaries here. And so when we got our dispensaries here, no bull crap. It was a lot of like white women, older women, like going to get it, like older white men. So it was, everybody ran to the stores, and what they would do is, of course, if they can't smoke, they'll they have like THC and like a little chocolate. And when I tell you, like, that works, it works both ways. I do like flower and edibles, but when I tell you, it just relaxes you. Like, of course, do them at home, and of course do it in moderation, but it just heals your body. And like, you're just like, you're on, like, you just on feel good mode. And so
I don't know.
I'm not
See, I'm
pressuring you.
scared for some things. I take my medication as prescribed, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't dive out too
You
much
said,
of that. But I don't know.
you
I
sound like
I
my
get
auntie.
scared. I promise you, I'll get scared. I
Yeah,
I
like,
I will. And I did use CBD cream on my knee
now
when
that's
I
good.
was
That works.
well. I worked it because I did something to my knee while I was trying to heal planting flower gardens. It has taken me 2-3 years, 2-3 flower gardens away, but I got it right. I think this year. But it was I didn't give up, and it was good. I went out last Sunday. I was trimming a willow tree, but a
Mhm.
particular person kept asking me to go live. Brought me into that room unprepared again, and I hate being told I'm going into a situation one way, and then when I get there, it twists. And
Mhm.
and and I don't think quick on my feet like that.
Right. I get you. No, I get you. But listen, I do feel like I want people to see this side of you. So, you know, coming up here in the future, we can do, you said something early, being a lady in etiquette. I feel like, why don't we have a conversation about etiquette? We can invite the ladies, have conversations, and it's unbiased. It's like, it's non-judgmental. And right here on the Goddess Tulsa radio show, we give you a space to come over here, feel safe. You're not going to be trampled on or attacked. And if you are feeling that way, immediately let me know, and we will definitely handle anybody that is making you feel out of place, because that's not our mission over here. Our mission is to build and create bonds and create solutions
It
within
was
sisterhood. And I know it's going to take time because the trust issues. I understand that. So you saying, oh, well, it's going to be time that's not going to offend me. I totally understand. I want you to move at your own pace, but I also want you to know that you have a sister that is supporting you. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You're a woman. We have issues. We have some common issues, common experiences. And so I feel like us as women, we do need to show up and support each other a little bit deeper and harder than before.
amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Okay.
To God
Oh,
be
okay.
glory. I hit the Bible thumping mode now.
Listen,
I
we're
was
gonna
just
say
playing. People, I was just playing.
no, we're gonna say a prayer before we get out of here, but I'll read a few more comments before we take off. Sonia Queen Tulsa has a great heart. So one of our supporters said that I have a great heart. So just give us a chance when I ask you to make a decision today, but just give us a chance. Jennifer Love Spear says, "Hey, I didn't even know you had a new channel. Sorry, I missed it. Yes, we are on the new channel." Kat Nanya says, "Sonia, you're smart to be cautious with your trust." Absolutely. So you're smart to be cautious with your trust. The best thing to remember is that not everyone has our heart or our intentions. So it is important to protect our peace and space. I truly believe that. Um, Jennifer Love Spew says, "I take medication. It took a long time for them to find the right one for me, though. It
Me
can
too.
get really frustrating." Yes, it can.
Mm-hmm.
And Kat Nugget says, "Some of us are really kind people, Sonia. We don't tolerate ugly." Absolutely. I mean, it is what it is. And this is my thing. We may not always agree, but let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can come to at least a common ground or at least have the conversation. But no pressure. I see you're a cat lover. I'm a cat lover, dog lover, chicken lover, leopard lover.
I have rescue pets, and my children. My son got Coco as a rescue at 6 weeks. Coco will be 13 in October. Num
Uh-huh.
Num here that is as exceptionally attached is because Num Num and Onyx, my daughter gifted um, to me May 5th. They were born, and I got them as rescue. Num Num and Onyx. Onyx passed away March 6th um,
Oh,
from
sorry to hear.
congestive heart failure. That was another breakdown. My kids and my mom and dad said they need to learn my pet cry versus people cry with death.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
I cried for a week.
Uh,
I cried for a week when Ani Bonnie died.
yeah. I'm
And I mean,
emotional. I think I'm more emotional when a pet dies around here. I mean, when they had pet fish, I got all in my feelings. They had come, the kids, they had come home, and I was like, "Oh my God, the fish died." They were like, "Okay," and so one of our leopard geckos passed away, and I'm like such in a tizzy. I don't know how to tell them, and I didn't cry, and I'm like, "We got to have a funeral. We got to
gotta
have
have
a
a
funeral."
private funeral. Hmm.
Right. See, we got to have a funeral. We got to give them the proper send off. And yeah, so I'm the emotional one in the family in that aspect. But yeah, I definitely want you to come back on. Thank you. Thank Mr. Charles for
He sleep.
showing up,
He
protect.
sleep. He work long hours. You know, he a postmaster, so
Yes,
he trying to get that right. Uh,
yeah, yes. But tell him thank you for sharing, you with us. I mean, and thank you for sharing him with us. And you continue to make these strides and continue to express yourself
I
and do it
will.
unapologetically, because you don't want to feel any remorse. You don't want to have a second thought. Oh, I shouldn't. You said what you said and be okay with it. And so before we take off, you want to
Say
so
hi to.
hi, my love.
That's
Oh
Num
my gosh,
Num.
Num Num. She kind of looks like my
He's a
cat.
he. I thought he was a she for in the beginning. We deballed him and declawed him at the same time.
Okay. Hey, Num Num. Hey, looks very, very, very beautiful. He's like, yeah, it's about time to go to bed. But here, let's do a quick prayer before we take off.
Let's do
Dear,
that.
dear Father, thank you for bringing us together and those that are watching. We just ask you, Lord, meet us where we are. This mental health journey is definitely a journey, Lord God, and we just ask you to show up and show out and give us favor and give us understanding and give us clarity on situations that are not clear and situations where we don't have the words to say. Lord, we ask you to give us the words to say. We ask you to give us a kind heart, give us joy in our mind, our heart, and our bones. And we just ask you to protect us and our loved ones near and dear to our heart, near and far. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. I love you, my sister. And until next time, we talk again.
Thank you. I do mean that. I do mean that.
Okay. We're getting somewhere. It's progress, people. It's progress. It won't happen overnight, but hey, we're moving in that direction. And just to see you smile really makes me really encourages me. Let's see.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
This afternoon, I really went to that dark path again. I got one Instagram call from a young man I had never communicated with or interacted with, and he actually talked me off the ledge because Charles wasn't here, and I appreciate that because I went back to the deepest, darkest place today, and I thank him. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to break his privacy or confidence or have him have any negative response from anyone. But he was someone that I never encountered, and he actually understood as a man, not even trying to come off in any disrespectful way. He actually said he understood, and that made him want to be a better man as a Black man, and not to stop and check us when we're not doing right. That meant a lot because people don't want to hear the truth sometimes. And if it offends you to that level, man, woman, that may be meaning it hit a nerve for you. And I just want people to, all of us need to sometimes look at ourselves. I know I'm a mess. I told Charles, I said, I'm a mess. And my mind is a dangerous place to be. And I always said that. And he laughs at me because he said, girl, for real? I said, yes, Lord, my mind is a dangerous place to be. He said, how you just sit back and all of a sudden it pop into your mind something bad? I said, I don't know. It just go in there and I go to another place. And I admit it because I think about it sometimes. And I want people to understand, if you're not healed, however, medication, therapy, whatever, talking about it, whatever, you won't be I'm losing my words because I'm emotional a little bit. I'm trying not to be. You gotta talk. It's good to talk about it. We won't get anywhere not talking about it or owning it. We won't. We'll be what I said today. I meant it. If we don't think differently as a whole, we'll still be having the same conversations next year.
That's true.
All right, you guys.
Oh, so Jennifer Lesbia says, "Oh, my dog is my baby. He is 10 now, and Corgi, he and his HSI brother are the only two left out of their litter. I'll be devastated. I think I've suffered harder for some of my fur babies, especially the last one. My divorce to her daddy was like, okay, bye. But when she passed, I'm still not over it. Yeah, death is definitely that. Blessings to all and sweet dreams." Jennifer Lesbia says, "Cat animals are so much better than people. That's why I love them. LOL." Ebony says, "Good night, y'all. I'm ready for sleep. Night, night. Good
Night,
night." Yes, human angels, God sent is what Cat Nugget says. Shout out to Jessica, shout out to Sonya, shout out to Ebony, shout out to NQ, shout out to everybody for coming through, supporting, and engaging into the conversation, uplifting our guests, and definitely making it a great show tonight.
thank you. I'm
Thank you
glad
so
I'm better tonight. Now I'm glad I'm better now. So
yeah.
I want to be a better person too.
And listen, just know just one day at a time, and just remember they can't keep a good woman down. Remember that.
Oh, I know. That
And
I
they
do.
could be your thoughts, the devil, the whatever, you know? So always remember that. And if you need to talk, we can definitely hook up again and have a conversation, because talking is therapy for me. That's where I get my I feel like I'm doing the Lord's work. Like I'm so content here. It doesn't feel it doesn't take any energy out of me. We've been here for almost 2 hours and it feels like 15 minutes. You know, like it doesn't seem that long, but we've been here. See, time flies when you're having a good time, you know? Yes. So let's have more good times.
We will. I'm going to do that. I'm going to think positive. I try to think positive and then take 10 steps back. I'm
Yeah.
going to really make that true effort this time. This time. I'm gonna try my best. I
Even
may
if you have to write
go
it on
back
your
and
mirror, even if you have to write it on your mirror in your bathroom, just so you can see it every morning that you go in there. Or every time you go in there, it's just a simple reminder.
yeah,
You got this.
yeah. Pray for me when I go back to the office on Tuesday.
Okay. You give me an update on Tuesday.
Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord, pray for me. Pray for me for that. If anything,
So you're not going to be working remotely. So you're going to be going back into the office.
after 2+ years, I came home March 2020, and I'm going back Tuesday 2022, July 5th.
I think that's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! You gotta do a birthday shout out and
Yeah.
revisit
I'll do a
it
birthday
to
live.
give you a birthday and talk about my first day back in the office. We're
Yeah.
human.
Let's do it. I'm with it. I'm with it. That'll be a gift to me. I want to know how your first day was. That's a gift to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting. I've worked remotely, only communicating by email for the most part. So
But
that's gonna be
listen,
interesting.
now don't you be trying to show up in that office in your PJ bottoms and your nice.
Oh no. No,
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 you
no.
know how we can sit at the computer with our nice little top on and
Child,
night
look,
clothes at the bottom.
I don't put makeup on till Saturday anyway, and I
Yeah.
don't put on real clothes till Saturday. I that is going to be a readjustment for me because I get up at 7:55,
Mhm.
go log in, clock in. Then I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, take a shower, and
Oh,
start
wow.
work 35 minutes later, even though I was due at work at 8 o'clock.
How you late when the computer is over there on the table?
Sometimes you gotta shuffle a little mouse to keep it awake.
Yeah.
That's the God honest truth. I ain't gonna lie. I hope ain't nobody at work was listening. But I doubt it. So it's all
Right.
good.
They was doing it too. I think we all got a little spoiled with the remotely working from home, you know.
It was good because I do operate what excuse me. One thing I can say, I operate on CP time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I do. I operate on CP time. My boss don't even get mad because he know you ain't late till 8:08.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, they give you that little grace period.
You ain't late till 8:08. If you clocking at 8:07, you on time.
Right.
So he never expected anything else. So I'm good.
Yeah. How you doing? Well, listen.
Good morning, everybody. That's how I come into the office every day. 20% spoke back.
Oh wow.
But I was okay with that because that I sometimes stroke my narcissistic. Oh, I forgot I was narcissistic too. I learned a whole lot about me on Instagram. Yeah. I didn't know I had them diagnoses. I had never been diagnosed narcissistic. I learned it in the last few months. I'm narcissistic. Media.
Let me just say this before we take off. I want to say this. Social media has been for the good and for the bad, but I feel like some people are using social media to bully people and to get off their frustrations. See, we can get on here and we can let our frustrations, but see, they can't. So they have to get behind a keyboard and say all these negative things and try to make you feel bad, because at that point in time, as they're saying it, they're like, and then they're waiting for a reaction. As soon as they get it, like, hell yeah. You know, so understand the people that's behind the keyboards and the people that are sending those messages, their hate and everything is not coming because of you. It's because of something going on within their lives and within themselves. So we're going to decompress. Go ahead and get ready for your trip. Like I said, I want you to enjoy it.
7 whole days.
Yes.
What's the song that Tony Braxton say? 7 whole days.
7 whole days. Yes. So get your Tony Braxton on. Get your Anita Baker on.
I don't do Anita no more because she depressed me a little bit.
Oh yeah, stay away from her. Yes.
Yeah. I love Tony though. I love Tony and Janet. They my girls.
Yeah, check out Sade too.
Look. I put the tramp stamp on my back because velvet rope, I thought it was a real tattoo. The same one.
Oh my goodness.
To find out hers was fake. I'm stuck with mine. I got those things. That's why that shows how square I really am.
But you're amazing. But listen, guys, we are actually about to head out of here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. I actually feel a little bit better.
That's the goal. We got to say thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. I love the Lord, honestly.
Yes. You got to give him all acknowledgement, because without him, we would be nothing, and our dreams and goals would not come to pass.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out to the
Kisses, and thank everybody that says they understand. I do appreciate it. I know that people may never understand me, but that's okay. I gotta learn to understand that. Okay.
Absolutely. All right, and on that note, we are out of here, guys. Good night.
See ya.
See ya.